Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm meteorologist Brandon Lashbrook with you tonight on this Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. Bill Campbell Stadium right now under cloudy skies with that sunshine peeking through just a little bit as we had some rain and thunderstorms pass through the area within the past couple hours. Mostly cloudy against conditions with some calm winds right now. Now, across Florida, we have lots of showers and thunderstorm activity through most of the state. And zoom into our area in the Big Bend region, most of our storms have moved past Leon County and move up north of I-10. We do have a flash flood warning for the slow-moving storms and over there in Valdosta. And for tomorrow here in Tallahassee, it's going to be 85 degrees for our high. Again, another chance of thunderstorms and showers moving through the area with some partly cloudy skies and some calm winds besides around those storms. But for today, we'll be talking about the tropics, what's going on there, the heavy rainfall expected for Tallahassee, and dry conditions out over in the west. All that and more today on FSU Weather. And welcome back in. Here's Bill Campbell Stadium again. Nice cloudy skies as the rain has moved past so far in this evening. 81 degrees is our current temperature. Across the region, though, temperatures are in the about the mid-80s, 85 Monticello, 88, a little bit warmer down there in Apalachicola. Again, places in the little the yellow color have seen that rain and has cooled down the atmosphere just a little bit. And for today, the temperatures rose up pretty steadily up until about 90 degrees at 1 p.m. And then once that rain came in, kicked those temperatures right back down into the lower 80s and upper 70s. 78 is 76 is actually our lowest at 5 p.m. as we have warmed up a little bit as the storms have passed by our area. And today our highest temperatures was that 90, which is right about average and thankfully below our record of 104. But they're not coming in, but they were about 90 degrees today. Radar is showing as these storms are moving toward the north above I-10, we do have that flash flood warning right now into the southern Georgia counties over by Valdosta with a lot of lightning associated with those. So any of these storms could be slow moving, could have the potential for some flash flooding and localized heavy rain. And over to the east as well, into the eastern Georgia counties, we see a lot more rainfall and lots of lightning associated with these storms as they move toward the north. Zooming out toward for Florida, much of the same story across the state. We have a lot of rainfall into the Florida counties as well. We do have that low pressure system that is spinning in southeastern Florida off the coast there by Miami. That's forecasted to be moving up toward the north by tomorrow to bring increased rain chances throughout the state and into our area a little bit. And along with the southerly flow we're seeing today is that increased moisture from that Gulf of Mexico. So 71 for our dew point here in Tallahassee, around 75 in Monticello. So plenty of moisture for these storms to work with as they take advantage of that daytime heating. And speaking of the storms keeping down those heat indices well in check, no more higher than 93 over there in Quincy, 80 here in Tallahassee. So thankfully nothing has they been recently, up into the hundreds even. So that rainfall is definitely keeping those heat indices in check. But for the overnight hours, we're going to be seeing temperatures drop down into the mid-70s, 74 Tallahassee, 72 by Thomasville, and a little bit warmer as you go down by the coast, 78 down there in Apalachicola as well in Carabel. For tomorrow morning for your commute, 9 a.m. for your morning commute to work, 79 degrees is your high temperature, with 10% chance of rain. And by noon, that'll kick up to 87 degrees. And for around your time to drive back home from work, 50% chance of rain with a high of 89 degrees. For the next 24 hours, these storms will die off into the overnight hours. And tomorrow, they'll kick right back again with that daytime heating, sea breeze, convection, outflow boundary. A typical kind of summertime pattern with that southerly flow, bring all that moisture in from the Gulf of Mexico. But for tomorrow, highs will be in the low 90s, 92 Tallahassee, 91 over there in Thomasville. And for the next 7 days, we'll see much of the same pattern across going to the next work week and also to the weekend. Around 50% chance of rain for most of the region. Lows are going to be right in the mid-70s, low 70s, and our highs will be hugging around 90 degrees, 89 on Friday. And so for Monday, for 4th of July, we'll be seeing a possible rain chance for that day as well. So keep an eye on your local forecast for any plans you have going on. But for the southeast, I'll stick with you. We have, here's our cameras across the area, Miami, Florida. A lot of cloudy conditions with those rainfall off the coast. 86 degrees is the current temperature. Atlanta, Georgia is seeing the same thing with some cumulus clouds in the distance and 88 degrees. Tampa, Florida, again, my beautiful hometown. We see some nice cumulus clouds and some possible convection over there. So rainfall down there, 85 degrees, and Clemson, South Carolina, seeing some warmer conditions at 74 degrees as well. Across the area, temperatures are in the mid-70s, upper 70s throughout the area where that rainfall has occurred. 78 Tallahassee, that's 78 also Montgomery, a little bit warmer as you go toward the north. 90 degrees up there in Little Rock and 96 in Shreveport. Current dew points across the area are much of the same. In the mid-70s across most of the area, 71 in Tampa, 73 in Miami, and you can even see that frontal boundary that's helping to produce some of this moisture and convection and storm activity. Right here where we see that dip in the dew point, 54 in Little Rock and 57 in Memphis. So there's that frontal boundary keeping the dry air well to the north of the southeast region. And the heat indices, you can see all this yellow patchiness on the map. I mean, basically where the rain has been has kept those temperatures well down below and keep those heat indices in check as well. And here again, you can see that frontal boundary even better on water vapor with that drier air to the north and all that moist convection down to the south. Here's that system of the low pressure off the Louisiana coast. We'll be talking about more in the tropics from Monique. And here's that other low pressure system down in the southeast of Miami. For the next 3 days, though, most of the rainfall will be concentrated into the Florida region as well as the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, as that low pressure system will be moving its way toward the north in the next coming days into Thursday, bringing in some higher rain chances and higher rainfall totals for that region. And for here's the radar. We can see that low pressure system moving to the north, bringing a lot of rain. So with a lot of rain in a short period of time, not moving too much, is going to bring a possibility of flooding in that region. So make sure you keep an eye out on your local forecast. And for tonight, across the area, the temperature is going to be dipping down into the mid-70s, upper 70s across much of the region. For Jacksonville, Florida, be nice and stormy conditions for you on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with highs only going to be in the upper 80s. And for tomorrow as well, temperatures will be heating up into the upper 80s and low 90s across much of the region. So now I'll pass over to Monique to give us a nice look at what's going on nationally across the country.
Thank you, Brandon. As you mentioned, rain has really been the story for much of the region, and Tallahassee is really no different. We had a great start to the day. However, we did see those stormy conditions push through, and it's currently a little overcast right now and cloudy, but like I mentioned, you see these rainy conditions from Boston all the way down to Tallahassee. Currently in Tallahassee, we're very cloudy at 81 degrees. Now today it felt like 88 in Tallahassee. It was a little warmer in Atlanta at 92 degrees, and it's been considerably lower as far as our heat indices values based off of what we saw last week. Now you can see here on the West Coast it's much cooler, 63 in Seattle, 66 in San Francisco, and 75 in Los Angeles. So they're seeing much milder temperatures. Now we have lots of activity going on right now. We have a couple of frontal systems pushing through, and the main story for us right here in the southeast is the stationary front that we have really hovering over our region. And as you can see, in front of that stationary front, we have lots of showers and storms that we're really seeing those rain effects come from. However, you can see on this upper level map right here, you can really tell that this moisture is really making its way into the region. However, it's a different story. Again, on the West Coast, it's very dry. These brown areas right here really allude to those drier conditions that they are seeing. Now for today's outlook, we are in a low risk, which is the lowest risk that we can have in Tallahassee. And right here in the Minneapolis area, they have a marginal risk, an enhanced risk for this area. So we are also tracking that as well. Now currently we have lots of activity, as I mentioned, on our satellite and radar, and one thing I really want to point out is this low pressure system that we have hovering right now near the coast of Louisiana and Texas. Now this system is it is a system that we are watching. It is a disturbance, and it has not developed into anything just yet, but right now you can see this low pressure system is really taking on that spin, and it's really expected just to be a rainmaker over the next couple of days for that area. Now for our drought monitor, as I mentioned, it's very dry on the West Coast, and I really want to zoom in, and you can see right here that Las Vegas, San Francisco, Salt Lake City, this whole area right here, these deep red colors, this means that they are in for an exceptional risk. So that is important to note, because this weekend is a weekend that is very centered around fire, and as it being 4th of July, you may want to light fireworks this weekend, but I would say if you do that, just take extra caution because it is very dry out. And just showing this dryness again right here, you can see the this dry line, and these dry conditions really, really push back here along the west coast, and it's a different story for us right here in the south. We have all this rain activity, and it is very, very green and very, very moist compared to the west. Now, over the next couple of days, we will see some enhanced rainfall coming from this low pressure system that we're seeing off of the Gulf and that stationary front. So we will see a few inches in Tallahassee and the southeast over the next couple of days. So it is expected to be a very rainy, stormy 4th of July weekend, but of course that's not going to stop our fun. So maybe plan for some indoor activities because we are going to see showers for much of the region. Now for tonight's temperatures, we are sitting at 73 in Tallahassee, and that is pretty much the story across this region in the low to high 70s, with the exception being over on the west coast. Now for tomorrow's forecast, we'll cool down a bit in Tallahassee. We'll still be stormy at 92 degrees. Atlanta will also see stormy conditions at 86 degrees, and Memphis will see conditions at 93 degrees. Now we're going to take a look at the tropics because, as I mentioned, we have a couple of disturbances going on right now. We have quite a bit of activity that we want to keep you aware of and just really kind of take you through each scenario and make sure that you are aware of these situations because we are seeing these depressions really progress over this week. So the first one I want to talk about is one that I kind of hinted at, and this is this low pressure system that we're seeing right here in the Gulf off of Texas and Louisiana. So right now it is at a 40% chance of development, and that is a moderate chance of development. Now that has increased over this week. It started, I wanted to say, at like a 10% chance, so it has increased over these past couple of days. However, as I mentioned before, it's really just expected to be a rainmaker for this area. Now the one that we are really, really keeping an eye on is right here. This is PTC2, which is potential tropical cyclone 2. So this could potentially, in the next few days, really develop and become our second named storm of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. So right now, you can see that it's a very high level of development over the next 5 days. And if we zoom in, you can see this track right here is expected to really go over the coast of Central America and kind of end up right here in the Pacific. However, those winds are very, very high, at 40 miles per hour right now, and they're expected to pick up as time progresses. So as I mentioned, we'll keep you updated and aware as the updates come in, just in case those situations progress more. Now you can really, really see this activity that we have going on in the Atlantic Basin right now. You can see these colors right here really, really allude to those heavy levels of precipitation that we're seeing. And we still are seeing some Saharan dust in the area, so this kind of really, really alludes to this brown color that you're seeing right now. And we're not seeing activity here because that dust is keeping these systems at bay. Now for our 72-hour forecast for rain, we are going to see, as I mentioned, a good bit of rain in Tallahassee, a couple of inches, and that's going to be very much of the case for our friends in San Antonio, in this area along the coast of Texas and New Orleans because of that low pressure system. Now, as I mentioned before, if we see that tropical disturbance progress, that will be Bonnie in the next couple of days. But now I want to take it back to Brandon, who will bring it closer to home. Brandon, what's currently going on in Tallahassee?
Yes, thank you, Monique. Right now in the area, rain and thunderstorms have died out as they move toward the north above I-10 and into our Georgia friends counties. Currently, here's that rain on the radar, moving up to the north with still a flash flood warning, so be careful there if you're over in Valdosta or on I-75 as rain has been moving there pretty slowly for that matter too. But for the next 24 hours, storms will die off into the overnight hours, and then tomorrow, with daytime heating and some sea breeze convection, will kick right back again around the same time as it was today. So that's kind of the story of the past couple of days and the next few days as well. But for tonight, our temperatures will be dipping down into the mid to low 70s, with a little bit warmer as we go by the coast, 76 in St. Mark's and 78 down there in Apalachicola. And for tonight here in Tallahassee, 72 is our low temperature with partly cloudy skies, so good night to get out on the town, go have dinner outside, as the storms have moved out of the area for the most part. But for the next 7 days, we see around the same story for most of the 7 days. Good rain chances throughout most of the time frame. But if you like us, you can follow us on Twitter as well as on Facebook at FSU Weather. Give us a like also on YouTube. Hope you're watching on there right now at youtube.com/FSU Weather. And also like us on Instagram at FSU Weather. We'd love to see what you sent us, some good weather pictures of the area. But for our 7-day again, like I mentioned, temperatures will be in the upper 80s, low 90s, with a good chance of rain and storms throughout much of the 7 days into the weekend as well, and even possibly on Monday for your 4th of July celebrations. So I'm meteorologist Brandon Lashbrook. I hope you have a safe and great evening and be safe out there.